This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Netflix. Coming up, more Orcs Must Die, Borderlands has some computer graphics, and Sword and Sworcery is coming to Steam. Plus, we wrap all the April lies from yesterday right now on Destructoid.
Hey there, welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Monday, Max.
Happy Monday, Tara.
Quite a weekend we had here, huh?
Full of lies.
April Fool's Day, or somebody on my Twitter feed called it Troll Amateur Hour, which could not be further from the truth. So that happened. We're actually going to go into some of the cool things that some websites did for April Fools in the second half of the show. But before we start actual news, I feel we should mention something that just broke, like right before we came into the studio today.
A rumor.
Which is a rumor that the Wii U will be launching on November 18th, 2012, which is, I'd say, I think Nintendo had initially projected fall, and then they said holiday season. And this totally makes sense because the original Wii came out on November 19th, 2006.
Smart date.
Yeah, which was also a Sunday, same as this year. So this was apparently leaked from an internal email at some big Japanese retailer. So, you know, no confirmation yet, but still exciting.
I guess. I was excited about the Wii U.
Really? I'm excited about having something to talk about and make fun of.
I'm excited about getting a little graphic of a Wii U with a siren on top of it. It goes Wii U, Wii U, Wii U, and that's our Wii U news alert thing.
Oh dear. All right. Let's start the show, shall we? We can add yet another game to the ever-expanding list of sequels this year because Robot Entertainment just announced that Orcs Must Die 2 will be releasing this summer. If you haven't played the first one, for God's sakes, go do it now. It's $15 on XBLA and Steam, and it's a really fun take on a tower defense genre where you lay down traps and try to think of other gruesome ways to obliterate oncoming waves of orcs. Pretty simple concept, light on storyline. So for the sequel, they've mostly focused on adding new bits and pieces of content here and there. So you'll see that the War Mage is still returning from the first game, but now he's joined by the Sorceress, who is his companion, who uses mind control and magic instead of brute force. You can play through the campaign as either character, or you can play as both if you're doing co-op mode, which is another big thing that's totally new to the sequel. On top of that, the game boasts new enemies, a spellbook full of new defenses, and a completely revamped upgrade system. It also seems like the developers are going the PC-only route this time, meaning no XBLA release, unfortunately. But they're even giving people who already own the first game on PC access to some unlockable exclusive content in the sequel, so there's your incentive to buy both. In the meantime, Orcs Must Die 2 will be playable at PAX East this week, hint hint, Max, and it's set to release on a wide range of digital distribution platforms this summer.
Oh, good.
Did you play the first one at all?
I didn't.
It's actually really fun and
I don't like tower defense.
But it's destroying things.
But I like attacking towers, not defending them. It's terrible.
You and I should go head to head sometime.
All right, so here's the thing that happened. Here's the thing. Since the device first got shown off, I have been constantly on the fence about whether or not I want an iPad. That's just a thing that I cannot decide. One thing that makes me want an iPad is that some of the games are on there that they don't have them other places, and one of those games happens to be Superbrothers Sword and Sworcery EP, which is a weird little artsy point-and-click, like pixelated adventure that I really wanted. It came out about a year ago. It was followed up on an iPhone version a few months later, and now it looks like it's going to be coming to Steam probably pretty soon as well. This news comes via the Steam registry tools, which isn't an official announcement by any means, but it has proven to be pretty accurate in the past. So for those of you who don't own iOS devices but also want this game, that is good news for you. And in addition to that, more PAX teasing. Capybara will be showing off their new game, Super Time Force, at PAX this weekend, and it looks fucking awesome. We are definitely hoping to go hands-on with it, so stay tuned for that video. We'll do a thing with that. And if you're going to PAX, be sure to stop by the Mega Indie booth where you can play Super Time Force, Sword and Sworcery, Bit Trip Runner 2, and way more. It's gonna be like a really trendy little party with
You're gonna have to
things.
play Bit Trip Runner 2 and tell me how it is.
Only if I can call it Bitch Rip Runner.
Sure, why not? I really don't care either way. I'm looking forward to that game though.
Okay.
I'm so jealous of you in PAX East. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Okay, it's been a few days since we talked about Borderlands 2, so I'm just going to do that instead. Now, obviously, Gearbox has been putting a ton of emphasis on PC gaming for the sequel, which we previously saw in Claptrap's love letter to PC gamers earlier this month. A couple of weeks after that, Gearbox's CEO Randy Pitchford made an appearance at NVIDIA's Editors Day to showcase a Borderlands 2 tech demo using the new GeForce GTX 680 graphics card. The whole video reads a lot like an advertisement for NVIDIA. He's actually says at one point in it, like, and this is only achievable on the GeForce 680. It's like, yeah, okay, we get it. But at the very least, we get to see some of the cool physics effects that they show off, like machine gun particles and rocket blasts and, yeah, wait for it, shootable cloth.
I hate cloth.
That's right, fuck cloth.
Fuck you, fabrics.
If you ever hated cloth, then Borderlands 2 is clearly the game for you because it has destructible and realistic cloth.
Go to hell, canvas.
Yes, it's also got realistic liquid physics, which apparently respond to player movement and some other outside interferences like explosions and stuff. I'll admit, this video is not as exciting as I wanted it to be, but I promise you that we will have at least 3 more Borderlands 2 videos for you by the end of the week. 2 interviews that I did, one with the producer of the game and one with the creative director, as well as an impressions video of the time that I and my producer Zach spent with the game's co-op mode a couple of weeks ago. So those are going to be up on this channel, okdtoid and Rev3 Games, later this week. Borderlands 2, looking pretty good.
I
Can't say anything just
I
yet.
wasn't too interested, but then I saw that fabric. Looks great.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be playable at PAX.
I might have to check that out
So you will
myself.
have to check that out.
Go hang out with Randy Pitchford, do some high fives with each other.
Tell him
Seems
I
like
said
a good
hello.
high fiver. Okay. As I'm sure we all know, that it was April Fool's Day yesterday, and that's a dangerous day when you go on the internet and everything can be a troll or a lie, and no one can be trusted. Nothing is as it seems. And that being said, this year did not disappoint. We got a whole pile of completely bullshit game trailers. It's like a big lie of E3. It's terrible. Yeah. So we got to look at Assassin's Creed on Kinect with the exciting motion control ability to hide inside of a haystack, which I thought was cute. Yeah, look at this lady. She's having fun with that. And everyone looks cool playing this.
That guy looks way too serious.
You know, that gag will never get old. Hey, what if we took this non-Kinect game and put it... There she is in a haystack. I love that. Yeah, what if we put a non-Kinect game on Kinect? The possibilities are endless. Then, of course, there was the complete opposite direction. This was Harmonix's latest offering of Rock Band the board game, complete with a nice cameo by former Destructoid editor-in-chief Nick Chester. That was him with the mustache. And lots of smashing of plastic instruments, because Lord knows those aren't fun anymore in the future. Rovio and Big World teamed up to leak a wonderful trailer for World of Birds, a crossover between World of Tanks and Angry Birds, of course. My God, that would make so much money. So much crazy free-to-play money.
It really would.
V-Blank Entertainment dug up a vintage commercial for Retro City Rampage, the breakfast cereal, and that was pretty cool. And Sony showed off their smallest computer yet, the Sony VaioQ Ultrabook, which is the size of a quarter. That's actually our boss Tom Lofthouse there.
Yeah, actually, Anthony Carboni directed that video.
This was it's a wonderful video, very well done.
Yes.
And let's see, a couple more announcements. That would be completely believable on any other day. Square Enix announced that Quantum Conundrum would have a chocolate dimension in which players could eat, melt, and stick to the level in a way to solve puzzles, which it's a weird game, so I don't really know how that's...
I actually didn't see that little piece of news till this morning, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool!" Like I didn't know it was an April Fool's thing.
Why is that a joke?
Yeah.
Why can't that be for real? And then, of course, on a similar note, Volition dropped news about a new Saints Row the Third expansion called Enter the Dominatrix, in which an evil alien warlord named Zinyak captures the player and puts him into a virtual reality construct version of Steelport, where normal laws of physics don't apply, and that is a giant can of energy drink called Paul, who's one of the villains. Dude, the regular game already had you going into virtual reality, and the last 2 DLC packs are about cloning and gangstas in space, so I seriously don't know if this is a joke or not. It's kind of Boy Who Cried Wolf with that game.
These all seem like great ideas, I
gotta
gotta be honest.
Isn't that a cool thing? Why can't that be a fun thing that we throw money at until it is ours? On the absolute weird end of the spectrum, a Skyrim hug pillow modeled after Lydia popped up on this Japanese site. You guys know about hug pillows, right? They're sort of between blow-up dolls and stuffed animals.
They usually have hentai characters on them.
Not necessarily hentai, maybe just
hentai.
Anime ladies, but I want one of these, but my stupid real girlfriend won't let me have one in the bed. It takes up too much space. But yeah, last but not least, Destructoid.com itself turned itself into a dating site for gamers. You can see it over on okdtoid.com. Watch out, guys, it gets a bit rapey, kind of a sausage fest. That is honestly one of the most hilarious things I've seen Gtoid do in a while.
Destructoid always has great April Fool's jokes.
Really pleased with this. But that's a rundown of some of the bigger April Fool's news. Did we miss any? You guys should tell us in the comments. Just type the words at us. We do read those, and they make us cry sometimes. We've got one more piece of news that I sincerely wish was a joke, but first, Tara, let's take a word from our sponsor.
Let's do that. Netflix is the absolute best way to stream TV episodes and movies directly to your home, saving you time, hassle, and an outrageously expensive cable bill. With Netflix, you can instantly watch unlimited shows and movies right on your PC or Mac, or even on your TV if you've got a PS3, Xbox 360, or Nintendo Wii console. For a limited time, Netflix is offering all Destructoid viewers their own free trial membership, which you can get yourself by going to netflix.com/Destructoid and signing up. And if you're in the UK or Ireland, Netflix is available to you as well. Just sign up at netflix.co.uk/Destructoid if you're in the UK, or netflix.ie/Destructoid if you're in Ireland. I love Netflix.
Netflix is great.
It's all I use anymore.
I have a recommendation for Netflix. It is A Town Called Panic, which is a weird stop-motion movie about cowboys and Indians and horses based on some crazy...
Wonderful.
It's like Wallace and Gromit meets Gumby, but infinity times more insane. So go check that out. That's on Instant
Titles subject to availability.
Indeed.
Disclaimer.
Okay, so as you guys probably know, I'm a Star Wars fan.
Really?
For what it's worth, anyway.
That's what that is.
Yeah. I frequently have to put on blinders and remind myself that no matter how bad the prequels are, or how much George Lucas tries to fuck up the trilogy, it can't change my love of the original movies. And then, of course, this video turned up on the internet for one of the mini games in Star Wars Kinect, the dance mode.
The Galactic Dance Mode.
Yes, featuring Han Solo and some backup dancers, breaking it down to I'm Han Solo, sung to the tune of Jason Derulo's Ridin' Solo.
I'm a little pissed they stole my moves, gotta be honest. That's kind of my signature thing right there.
That is one of your moves.
What the fuck?
It's a snap, and then there's the speeder, like you're on a speeder bike. That's great. We also get to see R2-D2 dancing around, and Lobot is DJing. There's some sexy female Cloud City guards, and about halfway in, Lando jumps in, and something inside me makes a slight coughing noise, and then it shrivels up and dies, and I feel empty.
The lyrics are at the absolute worst part.
Yeah.
They're so bad if you actually read them.
The trash compactor. Yeah. Oh my God.
What? That's not what these moves are called. That's the Virgin Maker.
The double blaster.
That's what I call it.
So I know I should have given up on Star Wars a long time ago, or at the very least gotten used to the constant ruining of something I held dear, but this is just too much. This is so ghoulish. This is terrible. The scene on Cloud City where Han Solo gets frozen in carbonite is like possibly the best scene in the whole series. And the game's like, well, needs more Jason Derulo and people dancing. That's what we need. But you know, in the game's defense, there was actually a Star Wars disco album released in 1977 by the artist Mecco, and of course, there's the famously terrible Star Wars holiday special in which Cantina barmaid B. Arthur sang songs about Life Day, and which is basically Star Wars Christmas, which Chewbacca celebrated with his family. George Lucas has always treated the Star Wars franchise like his dirty little whore, but what started as sort of endearing prostitution a la Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman has since begun to look a lot more like Charlize Theron in Monster. Yeah. It's a really sad thing.
Yep.
Mass Effect fans, this is what I live with. This is my pain. This is the cross that I bear.
I've never even seen Star Wars, and this horrifies me. I'm so offended by this.
But to be fair, Lobot's headgear does kind of look like headphones, so he would make a good DJ. On that note, Star Wars Kinect comes out tomorrow. You can laugh about it or you can cry about it, but please, for the love of God, don't spend any money on it. That great bearded flannel-wearing toad of a man at Skywalker Ranch does not need any more of our money. Sorry.
If we had a mic, you'd drop it right now. Yeah. I understand your pain, Max. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that is all we have the time for, news-wise. But before we go, we are starting a new contest this week over on our Rev3 Games channel. We've got 5 copies of the PC Collector's Edition of Alan Wake, one of which has been touched by Max's unwashed hands, if you consider that a plus. And it could all be yours. Now, this is especially perfect for those of you who have been complaining about having to do things in order to participate in our giveaways. You lazy asshats. Now all you have to do to win this is subscribe to youtube.com/rev3games. Find this unboxing video, which we just posted there like a few hours ago, and leave a comment on it, whatever comment you want. Make it offensive, I guess, since you guys like doing that. And then bam, you are automatically entered to win. Easy as pie. We're going to announce the winners on next Wednesday's show, but keep in mind this contest is US only.
They're very heavy, the boxes.
The
of
boxes
these
are
things.
heavy, surprisingly so.
We have to pay for shipping with our
Yeah.
own pocket money, and we have to spend that on school supplies.
You want to wrap up?
I can do
the
that.
Twitters?
You guys can follow us on Twitter. Together, we are the @dtoid show. That's where we post all our videos through there. It's very handy for keeping up to things if you don't like subscribing to stuff, which you should do anyway. Of course, personally, I am @Max Scoville, and she is @TerraLongest, and my new background has me walking away from a pizza.
Mine's still better.
Yeah, well, mine's cool. Whatever. Anyway, we're gonna go home now, but we love you, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
See you on Wednesday.